Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. When I first started my channel approximately 10 years ago, one of the very first videos I uploaded was a haul and review of Charlotte Tilbury. I first became familiar with Charlotte Tilbury, the makeup artist, when she was the lead makeup artist for the Victoria's Secret fashion show. So when I heard that Charlotte Tilbury was launching her own brand, I got super excited and I could not order fast enough when her products were released in the United States. So I placed a small order of, I think, a lipstick, a lip liner, a gloss, an eyeshadow palette, and a blush, and reviewed it as one of my first videos on my YouTube channel. Now, 10 years later, Charlotte Tilbury is a huge global brand. So what I wanted to do today was go through her best sellers and tell you what I feel is still worth buying in 2025. Meaning, of those best sellers, which ones have I found maybe alternatives for, but not exactly dupes. There's just something about these specific products that I would continue to purchase from Charlotte Tilbury and not any of the other more affordable brands. So let's get started. First up is a product that is a little controversial. Actually, it's more controversial on social media than it is when it comes to sales, because this is a top performing product for Charlotte Tilbury, not only on her website, but at retail locations such as Sephora, Ulta, and anywhere else Charlotte Tilbury is sold. This is the original Magic Cream. And the story behind this is that when Charlotte Tilbury was working on models such as the Victoria's Secret Angels, she wanted a moisturizer that would not only hydrate the skin, but act as a primer for makeup to plump up the skin and make it look as if the girls had just gotten facials. Sounds good, right? Well, all of that comes with a pretty high price tag. So I don't blame people for seeking out alternatives, but I find that there is just something special about Charlotte's Magic Cream. I have gone through so many of these over the years, and what's funny about that is when it first came out, I was really hesitant to try it. I think it was out for a couple of years before I ever tested it myself, because I just assumed that it wasn't right for someone with oily skin, because it claimed to be super hydrating and give the skin a glow and all the plumping. I was into the plumping aspect and the priming aspect, but I was just worried that it would be too hydrating and radiant and emollient for someone like myself with very oily skin. But once I started using this, I fell in love and couldn't stop. A couple years later, Charlotte did launch the Magic Water Cream, which is meant for someone with more combination to oily skin. And I liked it, but I didn't like it as much. So I went back to this. Some people do not like the scent that this product has. I happen to love it. I think a lot of us enjoy and are more likely to do our morning or night routine, skincare routine, if it's a very pleasant sensory experience. I'm sure a lot of you, like me, have tried beauty products, whether it be a skincare product or a foundation or even a lipstick, that just is way too fragrant. And some people may like that fragrance and others may not. So I think that's where the polarization comes in with this product. People either don't like the scent or they just don't think it's worth the money. And they have found other products that work just as well for them. And if that's you, if that has been the case for you, that's awesome. And I am very, very happy for you. I too have found other great moisturizers and primers, but there's just something about this product that just brings me back time and time again. Something else I reach for over and over again is the Invisible UV Flawless Primer SPF 50 Sunscreen. I'm about to take a trip to Italy, and this is already on order. I have a new one coming my way because I Cannot be without this. When I'm on vacation, during the day, not at night. At night, most of you know, I do go all out, full glam, hair, makeup, the whole works. But during the day, I don't want to spend a lot of time on my makeup, but I do want to wear a little bit of something like mascara, a little concealer, brow, lip balm, maybe a cheek tint, and sunscreen. Yes, once again, I have other sunscreens in my stash that I use and love. But if I am going to be putting a foundation on top of my sunscreen, this is the one that I find myself reaching for the most and going back to the most. Like, let's say I'm on vacation and I'm just going out to the pool for the day. I'm not really going to be wearing much makeup, if any. So at those times, I'll just throw on my Supergoop sunscreen or my Dalba sunscreen or my Dr. Althea sunscreen. All of those are sunscreens I've spoken about and raved about on my channel. But if I am going to be maybe going in town to go shopping or on an excursion, and I do want to wear a little bit more makeup, this is the sunscreen that I wear, and it never fails me. It protects against UVA and UVB rays. It has an invisible finish with no flashback, and it has something called City Stem that provides pollution defense. Okay, moving away from skincare and into makeup. Charlotte Tilbury did just release a new formulation of her Airbrush Flawless Full Coverage Foundation. I had sort of a love-hate relationship with that foundation because sometimes I would use it and I would love it, and other times I would use it and I thought it just felt really heavy. And I think that's why it had such mixed reviews online, and probably one of the reasons why Charlotte decided to reformulate it. Now, this video is not about that new foundation. That foundation is obviously not a bestseller yet. And in fact, the Airbrush Flawless Foundation was not even on the list of bestsellers. But I had a feeling someone was going to ask me about it if I've tried the new formula, and I have. And I am hopefully going to be putting out a comparison video very soon. I haven't decided if it's going to be a comparison between the original and the new, or maybe I will have it in a foundation roundup sort of thing where I talk about the new Charlotte Tilbury, the new Natasha Denona foundation, and the new Makeup by Mario foundation. But again, I did want to mention it because I know someone's going to ask. I have tried it, I have thoughts, and I will be sharing them soon. Let's get back to the current bestsellers. People will tell you that there are dupes for this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Pressed Powder. And there are some pretty good ones out there, I'll admit. But for some reason, I still think this is the best. And I still buy it, or rebuy it, I should say. I was going to powder my face with this real quick because I am a little shiny. But now that I think about it, I want to talk about the setting spray first because that brings me to another one of Charlotte's new products, which is this Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray Matte Blur. I do stand by my opinion that the Charlotte Tilbury original Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray is one of the best on the market. In fact, I have a brand new one right here. My only frustration with this is that once in a while, I do get one, and I think I've heard from my viewers that this has happened to them as well. The sprayer stops working. This one seems to be fine. It has a super fine mist. It keeps my makeup locked in all day, and I have tried so many different setting sprays from drugstore to anything you can find at Sephora, and this is my number one pick. So I got super excited when I heard, as someone with oily skin, about the matte blur. But I have used this 3 times now, and I'm not seeing the mattifying aspect, nor am I seeing the blurring aspect. And yes, I always shake it up to activate it before I use it, and I don't know, I'm just not impressed. So I think of the two, regardless of your skin type, I would go for the original Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And the reason why I stopped what I was doing, talking about this powder, to focus on the setting spray is because I wanted you to be able to see that I am still extremely shiny, even with a supposedly mattifying setting spray. So I'm not thrilled with that, but I do love this powder so much. This is going to take down my shine, but it's not going to make my foundation look cakey. It is truly going to give me that airbrushed effect without being like a flat, matte, lifeless powder. I've lost count as to how many of these I have repurchased. Now, what would a Charlotte Tilbury bestsellers video be without speaking about Pillow Talk? Originally, there was just one shade of Pillow Talk, and allegedly, Charlotte used it on everyone. She claimed that it was a universally flattering shade. So I don't know about you, but when I hear that, my ears perk up. I'm a little skeptical, but I'm also intrigued. So, of course, I, like many others, went out and purchased Pillow Talk. And it does work on my skin tone. I do like it. It's not my favorite though. Over the years, Charlotte Tilbury has come out with so many other shades that work so much better for me, like Runway Royalty, Dance Floor Princess, Penelope Pink, and now Pillow Talk Fair. So let's talk about my lip combo right now. I am wearing Iconic Nude Lip Liner, which is a great lip liner. I do love it. However, that is not something that I would say is worth the money in 2025. There are so many other lip liners out there right now that are perfect dupes for Iconic Nude. One quick Google search will bring up at least 4 or 5 different alternatives to the Iconic Nude lip liner. But I have yet to find the perfect formula and shade for a pinky nude for someone with my skin tone than Pillow Talk Fair. I'll admit, when I finally saw it in person, I was a little unsure, but once I put it on, I fell in love. There is also a Pillow Talk Medium, which isn't just for deeper skin tones. I've worn Pillow Talk Medium in the past. If you find that the original Pillow Talk pulls too warm or even a little orangey on your lips, I would highly suggest trying either Pillow Talk Fair or Pillow Talk Medium. Now, this next product is not listed on their website as one of the best sellers, but I think eventually it will be. This is the Pillow Talk Big Lip Plump Gasm. This comes in 2 options, light to medium and medium deep. I use light to medium. Actually, it's fair medium, and it is currently out of stock. At least it is on the Charlotte Tilbury website. But let me see if it's still available on Sephora. Yes, it is showing in stock on the Sephora website. This plumper is so good because not only is the color beautiful and works beautifully on top of any lip combo, it also has a gentle plumping effect, but it doesn't burn. There are so many lip plumpers on the market right now, such as Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme or the Polite Society XL. I can't think of the full name at the moment. Those do work really, really well, but they're painful. At least they are to me and many others, so I've heard. And I just can't deal with the painful plumpers anymore. And I just love everything about this, from the packaging to the applicator to the shine. It is the perfect pinky nude. It doesn't run outside of my lip lines. Don't get me wrong, it does have a slight tingle, but there's no burn. So my lip combo today is the Iconic Nude lip liner, Pillow Talk Fair lipstick, and Pillow Talk Fair Medium Plump Gasm. So obviously the whole Pillow Talk range is something that Charlotte Tilbury is known for. She's got a Pillow Talk eyeshadow palette. She's got a Pillow Talk blush. She's got Pillow Talk highlighters. But when it comes to bestsellers, the lipstick and the liner are the most popular and also the ones that are, I think, the most iconic. And I don't really think that her blushes, her powder blushes, nor her eyeshadow palettes are anything amazing. I don't hate them, but I think there are better options. And if I were working at Sephora and you came in and you said, what eyeshadow palette or what blush do you recommend for me? I probably would take you to another gondola that was not Charlotte Tilbury. Moving on to mascara. I was actually not surprised to see that the Exaggerate Volume Mascara was listed as a bestseller. I was never a fan of the Pillow Talk mascara. And then there was another formula as well that I think has been discontinued. So being that I didn't love the first two that I tried, I didn't rush out and purchase this, but after seeing several positive reviews from influencers I trust, I think I picked this up during maybe the Sephora savings event. It was some promotion where I got 15 or 20% off because I don't really believe in spending a lot of money on mascara. It's just something that I think, yeah, is not usually worth it because there are so many affordable mascaras out there now. And if you know me, you know I love to pop on corner lashes or cluster lashes nearly every day anyway. But I have to say that if I had to pick my top 3 luxury or high-end mascaras, this would rank number 2. I'd have to put this up against the Iris and Romeo mascara because that's another one I really, really love. This formula gives me super long, super voluminous lashes. I have not experienced any flaking, any smudging with this mascara. It's also sweat-proof, clump-proof, and humidity-proof. It gives me volume, length, curl, and I really like the packaging. It's been very easy for me to find my mascara in my makeup bag when I'm traveling. Also on the bestsellers list is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is just a no. It's not a bad product, but there are plenty of good dupes out there. This was actually never a product I used a lot because, as I mentioned, I have oily skin, and putting something that glowy under my foundation is just a recipe for disaster. So the way I would use it when I first bought it, because I would buy, honestly, when Charlotte Tilbury first launched, I bought everything. Every new thing that she came out with, I wanted to at least try. So I did purchase the Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I would just use it on the tops of my cheekbones for some glow. But now, I mean, that was like 6, 7, maybe even 8 years ago when I first purchased that product. Now there are just so many other products that you can get that will give you the same effect, either under your makeup or mixed in with your foundation or as a highlighter. So to me, in 2025, not worth it. The Beautiful Skin Foundation is also on the bestseller list. That is a really nice foundation for the right skin type, which is not mine. But it is a beautiful foundation for someone with normal to dry or very dry skin. I have it, and in the past, I have used it on my mother who's in her 70s. And if I were still a freelance makeup artist today, I might actually have that product in my kit. I did a video recently where I spoke about products that I would put in my freelance makeup kit if I were still working as a freelance makeup artist. And I think I forgot about the Beautiful Skin Foundation, and I don't think I mentioned it. But if I were to redo that video, I would have to add it because I do think it is a really, really nice foundation. And then when it comes to the Hollywood Light Wand or the Hollywood Contour Wand, there are, again, so many options out there, other alternatives that are just as good. For the Hollywood Contour Wand, one of my personal favorite dupes is this one from Physicians Formula. I would say the only shade of the Beauty Light Wand that I would repurchase at this point is Pink Gasm. I'm actually out of mine right now, and I kind of want to order a new one. I have things that are close to that shade, but not exact. And like I was saying earlier when I was speaking about the Magic Cream and the Airbrush Flawless Powder, sometimes there is just something about a product that you can't really put your finger on, but you just like it more than anything else. And it just makes you feel prettier than anything else. And anytime I use the Beauty Light Wand in Pink Gasm, I feel more Victoria's Secret supermodel-esque. Yes, that's extremely delusional of me, but I don't care. All that matters is what we feel inside. And if using a product that might be a little bit more expensive, and maybe there's a product that's going to give you a close enough effect, but we still want to use the original, if you can afford it, I say go for it. All right, I hope you all enjoyed hearing about the Charlotte Tilbury bestsellers. I truly feel are worth the money in the year 2025 when all of these other dupes and alternatives exist. As usual, I will have all of the products listed and linked down below in the description box of this video, as well as tagged through YouTube Shopping. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find more from me over on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. My username is the same on every social media platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.